Good morning, everybody. Thanks for attending today's webinar, The Year Ahead, Taking Control of Energy Costs in Your Store. My name is Susan Thompson, and I'm going to walk you through some ways to control energy in your store this year. I want to thank Vermont Grocers Association, Vermont Retail Association, and Vermont Businesses for Social Responsibility for partnering with us on this webinar. A couple of housekeeping items. I just mentioned this, but for those of you who just joined, please be sure your phone is muted. Looks like we have you all muted from this end, but we just want to be sure. We're going to run through the presentation, and I ask that you please hold your questions to the end. I'm probably going to talk for about 45 minutes, and then we'll save 10 to 15 minutes for questions and answers. And you can see there is a place where you can enter questions, and we'll be collecting them as they come in. Okay, so taking control of energy costs in your store. Oops, I'm going to get it going. Let me see how I get this going. Oh, there we go. Okay. Just a quick run through of the agenda. I'm going to talk a little bit about Efficiency Vermont, and then we'll get into why does your store energy use matter. And then the crux of the presentation today is going to be about managing energy use in your store. We'll spend just a little bit of time on specific technologies, including lighting, specifically LED lighting, a tiny bit on HVAC and refrigeration, and then we'll just talk a little bit about finding ways to pay for these upgrades. And then we'll leave plenty of time for questions and answers. So who is Efficiency Vermont, and how can we work with you to save energy in your store? Efficiency Vermont is the first energy efficiency utility in the U.S. I like to say that, you know, Vermont is a small state, but we are by far leaders in energy efficiency. We really are the first energy efficiency utility in the country, and other states have copied the model of Efficiency Vermont because we've been so successful in moving energy efficiency into various markets in the state. We were created by order of the Vermont legislature in 2000, and we are regulated by the Public Service Board. Efficiency Vermont is really an innovative approach to helping Vermonters save energy in their homes and in their businesses, with the ultimate goal of protecting the environment and reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Efficiency Vermont is funded through an energy efficiency charge on your electric bill. At home and at your business, you can see an EEC charge on your bill. So you are paying into the fund at home and at your store, at your business. There are a couple of ways Efficiency Vermont can help you. One of the key ways that we help is through providing technical assistance. We can work with you to understand the key ways to save energy in your store, which will eventually help you save money and increase your bottom line and profitability. The technical assistance that we provide can help you make the right decision the first time, meaning that if you have a couple different options that you're looking at to save energy in your store, you can call our 800 number, you can talk to a member of the Efficiency Vermont staff, and we can give you an objective opinion on the equipment upgrade you're considering, the savings associated with it, and et cetera. We also provide financial incentives in the form of rebate money. We do this in two ways. We have a standard rebate program, which we call our prescriptive rebate program. And these, I'm sure many of you have seen these forms. These forms have set amounts for set technologies, and they change on a yearly basis. Sometimes they don't change, and sometimes they change on an annual basis. We also have a custom process whereby we bring in projects on a case-by-case basis and analyze them as such. Those projects usually involve more complex technologies, and we will assign an Efficiency Vermont energy consultant to your case. Most times that consultant is a mechanical or an electrical engineer and reviews the technologies for cost-benefit analysis. So why does energy efficiency matter in your store? And one of the key things I say to retailers and grocers over and over again is that you have the power to control your energy bill. You have the power to control this operating expense. And efficiency will lower your operating expenses. You know, the other thing I say about operating expenses, there's so many operating expenses that you all have. Some of them are fixed, and you have no control over them. This particular energy as a particular operating expense is something that you can do. You can flex, you can work with, you can set goals, you can lower that operating expense. Every dollar saved in your utility costs will go to your bottom line. And the equipment is a long-term investment. And I ask you to consider this. And this quote down at the bottom is from Energy Star, EPA's Energy Star. If you consider that an energy expenditure is the same as a profit margin, and for typical retail and grocery stores, we're talking about 1 to 2%, any reduction in your energy bill is going to go right to that profit margin. So if we say that your profit margin is about a 1 to 2%, 10% reduction in energy costs can boost profit margins by as much as 6 to 7%. So anything you save on your energy costs, you can realize in the bottom line. And for businesses with such narrow profit margins in a tough economy, it's a good choice to consider energy efficiency. So let's take a look at retail electrical usage. And when I say retail, retail overarching includes retail stores and grocery stores, convenience stores. I consider retail to cover the entire market. So when we look at energy consumption by end use, we see that lighting is really a good place to focus. For specific retail, lighting uses 22% of your energy. In grocery, it says 19%, but we're talking in the same ballpark. In grocery, as you can see, refrigeration is using 53% of your energy, and that is a pretty energy-intensive technology grocery. So grocers are going to focus on fine-tuning and maintaining their refrigeration equipment if they want to increase that profit margin we just talked about on the previous slide, as well as the other technologies, but 53% is a pretty large piece of the pie there. On the retail side, we're looking at cooling, 24%, lighting, 22%, and plug loads. There are a lot of plug loads, various plug loads in retail stores, and that is something that you can look at and understand. Can your staff unplug things? Can they turn things off? There are things that you can do. There are some low-cost and no-cost things that you can do to save energy. And we're going to look at a plan for making that happen in your store. So there are many advantages of efficiency upgrades, as I've just been talking about. And one of the primary ones associated with the dollar signs on this slide is increased profitability. Energy Star will say that energy savings are reflected on a company's profit and loss statement as reduced operating costs. And this will directly increase the profitability of your store, business. Efficiency can help reduce your vulnerability to energy price fluctuations. And we know that, with different utilities, energy costs go up and down. Some of the utilities are constantly raising rates. But if you take control of that and maintain your equipment, invest in energy efficiency, it'll soften the impact of any of those price fluctuations. Another advantage of efficiency is increased sales. Improving energy efficiency of a store, retail or grocery, involves lighting upgrades, refrigeration, HVAC upgrades. This can create a more visually pleasing shopping environment for customers. It can create a more comfortable shopping environment in terms of HVAC. And it can lead to increased sales. Happy customers are customers that will purchase and make more purchases. And then there's the enhanced public image. I'd be interested to know how many grocers on this call, retailers on this call, are interested in their public image as it pertains to being an environmental steward. Here in Vermont, many communities find it important if their local store, their local grocer, their local retailer cares about the environment and is investing in the future in a way that is going to be responsible for the environment. So it'll be interesting to know, and maybe we can ask this question at the Q&A to see if that is a value for all of you. So how do you get started in your business, figuring out what to focus on? You have to prioritize. As I mentioned earlier, there are some low-cost and no-cost things that you can do first before you get into the capital-intensive projects. Do the free and easy things first when you're prioritizing. And then next on your list, implement the inexpensive measures that lead to savings. Then the next thing, expensive items that have a quick payback. A year or less, 2 years or less are good quick paybacks for a small business. Expensive items that have a longer term return on investment is something to consider, especially because efficiency is a good investment. But before investing in the most expensive items, make sure that you have picked the low-hanging fruit, those 1-year paybacks, those 2-year paybacks, those no-cost options for efficiency before you go and put in a new refrigeration rack system in your grocery store, before you, invest in something more capital intensive. One of the keys to getting started is knowing what needs to be replaced next. Emergency replacement of broken down equipment is challenging, as we all know, in this business. And sometimes on the fly, you'll have to buy a less efficient model. If you're waiting to the end of life of a piece of equipment and it's a busy 4th of July weekend and you have to replace that condensing unit, you're going to have to take what you can get. Instead of knowing and doing some pre-planning, and I understand that's difficult, especially with narrow profit margins, but it's something to consider. When you're on the fly purchasing that broken down piece of equipment, it's going to cost you significantly more to operate in the long term, because we're seeing the efficient refrigeration equipment, the efficient lighting equipment, the efficient HVAC equipment can really, the returns are a lot shorter these days, and the efficiency savings, the energy savings that you can realize from an efficient piece of equipment, again, is going to increase your profitability. And there are many other factors associated with the efficient equipment in the form of reduced maintenance and life of the equipment. So I'm going to get into energy management, the how-tos of energy management. Energy management is a process of monitoring, controlling, and conserving energy in a building or organization. It's not an easy process. It takes some planning, and it takes a little bit of work, and it takes some thought. I'm going to walk through a proven strategy that the Environmental Protection Agency's Energy Star program has put in place. It's guidelines for energy management for retail and grocery. It's a 7-step process. And the first step is to make a commitment. The second step is to assess your performance. The third step is to set a goal. The fourth step is to create an action plan. The fifth step is to implement that action plan. The sixth step is to evaluate the progress, and the seventh step is to recognize your achievements. So let's go through some of this. Commit to continuous improvement. You need to make a commitment to saving energy in your business. If it's important to you, you need to actually commit. There are some things that you can do. You can prioritize from the previous slide. What are some of the priorities you need to do? But you need to commit that you're actually going to do this. Say for 2013, take control in 2013 and commit to doing something in your store that will help you save on your energy costs. So do some planning of the improvement as this graphic illustrates, implement, evaluate, and then decide. And then there'll be the feedback loop. Once you do something, make an upgrade, you save some money, you can take that money you save and put it right back into your business in investing in more energy efficient equipment. Committing is the first step. And then assess your performance. You're going to gather your data, collect energy use and information so that you can document over time how your business, how your store is performing. You want to establish a baseline so that you know against last year and the year before how your energy costs are, how they're doing. Are they going up? Do you have a piece of refrigeration equipment that's on the brink and it's costing you more per month than it did last year? You need to establish a baseline to understand how you're doing. And then we're going to benchmark a comparison of current versus historical performance from that baseline. And then you want to analyze. You want to seek informed opinions, call Efficiency Vermont, ask us. We can look over some of your information. We can sit with you. We have an informed customer service department that can answer questions. We can answer questions on system-specific information. So we can help in that analysis part when you're assessing your performance and give you some direction and support. And then set some goals. So once you've benchmarked and you've established a baseline after you have committed, then you can set some good goals for the year ahead. They can help guide your daily decision making. Should I purchase this or should I purchase that? Should I go on a vacation or should I purchase a new condensing unit? It's these types of things that will help drive a strong plan for the year ahead. Well-stated goals. What are the goals? Do you want to save money? Do you want to save energy? Do you want to upgrade all your equipment by 2015? What are your goals? And then communicating and posting those goals. And this is This is related a little bit more to how you operate with employees in your store. Do your employees know that you're making this commitment to save energy? Do your employees care? Can they help? Can you motivate them to turn off the lights at the end of the day to make sure all the equipment is shut down properly? Do you have interest enough and support to make sure that your staff is not wasting energy and that they're helping you reach these goals that you've set for the year? So then you need to create an action plan. What are the priorities? List those out. And then understand what the technical steps are. Evaluate the priority list for any technologies that might need attention in your store. Talk with your contractors. Contractors are a great source of information, and Efficiency Vermont has been working very closely with lighting and refrigeration contractors to get them up to speed on energy efficiency and partnering with us. And then also contact us. We're a resource to help you understand what a next advantageous upgrade would be for your store. We can help with a quick phone conversation, prioritize next steps. And then in that action plan, what are the resources you're going to need? Estimate the cost. Talk to your contractor, how much will that cost? Do some research online. Again, call us. We don't always have the cost of the brand new piece of equipment, but we can talk about it with you. We can understand. We can help you develop the business case for making the upgrade. Will it pay for itself in energy savings? Because that's really key. How long is it going to take for it to pay for itself? And then what's the cost of not doing it? What's the cost of waiting to make that upgrade? Especially, one example is we had a program a year or so ago to retrofit all old T12 tubes, old lighting that was in the ceiling with those big fat 1.5 inch fluorescent tubes. They were extremely inefficient. And many people didn't upgrade them or retrofit them until the federal legislation was phasing out the manufacture of them. But there were some early adopters years ago that realized that they weren't going to wait. The cost of waiting was too much. The payback was so quick on those old inefficient tubes because they use so much energy. The energy savings paid for the cost of the retrofit in a short period of time. It's really something to consider when you are making upgrades. What is the cost of waiting? What are those avoided costs? Step 5 is to implement that action plan towards your goal. Those goals you've set for 2013, your action plan is in place. Now you need to implement. Take that step, put that puzzle piece in to bridge that gap to your goal. Then you want to do some evaluation. Review your energy use data, review your bills, review what you've done to address energy usage, compare energy performance to those baselines you established, and compare performance against established goals for your environmental performance and financial savings. Are you saving money on your bills? Compare energy performance to your peers and competitors to see, are they using a lot of energy? Are their stores similar square footage? Where do you rank in that? Have you done your lighting upgrades? Do you still have those old T12s? Have you done any motor upgrades in your VAP fan units in the grocery store? What have you done in your store? Have your peers done those things in their stores? Are they saving money? If they did do those, make some upgrades in their store, how do they like them? Learn from each other on that as well. And then recognize achievements. If you make an upgrade, if you do upgrade that lighting and you are saving money on your bill and your lighting is so much nicer in your business, in your store, in your retail environment, recognize that achievement. That's a big step, especially with narrow profit margins. Take the time to say, yes, I'm a responsible business owner. I'm making conscious efforts to save money and be more energy efficient. So I'm going to just talk briefly about a couple technologies. And if you want to know more after this presentation, if you want to know more about technologies, please feel free to contact our customer service department or go to efficiencyvermont.com. We have a specific retail page and a grocery page where you'll find more about efficient technologies for your business, retail store or grocery store. So for lighting, start saving with some really easy tips. Replace inefficient fluorescent tube lights, like I was just saying, with either new T5 or T8 high efficiency lamps. That is a really low-hanging fruit upgrade. If you haven't done that yet, now's the time to do it. Look up in your ceiling. Do you have the old T12s, the 1.5-inch tubes in your ceiling? If you do, call us immediately after this webinar. Replace incandescent exit signs with LED exit signs. You know, these exit signs run 24/7, and that's an upgrade that you can make and save $50 a year. Install occupancy sensors in general usage areas at your store, in your bathrooms, in your workrooms, in your back rooms. Make sure you have these occupancy sensors on. Installed so that lights are not staying on all the time when they're not occupied, in areas that are not occupied. Install photocells or time clocks on outdoor lighting systems. You know, how many of us have driven by a location during the day and seen the outdoor lighting on? You know, that's money out the door. So make sure that you have some sort of time clock or a photocell on those outdoor lighting systems so that your lights are off during the day. Your outdoor exterior lighting is off during the daylight hours. I want to talk a little bit about LED lighting because there's always a lot of questions about it from retailers and grocers. So I'm going to spend a couple slides talking about LED lighting. LED light-emitting diodes are rapidly evolving technology, and there are many applications for retail and grocery that are coming into the market, you know, very quickly. You can save up to 75% in energy savings compared to older incandescent lighting. LED lighting produces less heat, and this can lower your cooling load. You can use LED lighting for display and track lighting as opposed to the old halogens, which put off so much heat and lower the cooling load. I've been shopping in a retail store before where the retailer is blasting the air conditioner in the winter because the halogen lamps are putting off so much heat. So making the upgrade to LED lighting can fix that problem. You do not have to be blasting your air conditioning in the winter, especially on days like today, if your halogen lights are, if you've upgraded your halogen lights to LEDs. LED lighting requires less maintenance due to the length of the lamp life. They last 2 to 3 times longer than the fluorescents. Maybe even more than that. They're dimmable. They come on instantly with no warm-up time. You know, fluorescents sometimes have a little warm-up time before they click on, but LEDs have an instant on. And they provide a really nice light for staff and customers. There's some really strong benefits of LED lighting for retail. LEDs are inherently directional, so you can illuminate exactly what you're trying to display rather than having the light go all over the place. So you can, if you're trying to illuminate produce, or you're illuminating something in a refrigerated case, or you're illuminating something in a jewelry case or in your retail store, a product that you're trying to display, you'll actually get that nice directional lighting right on the product. LEDs tolerant of cold temperatures as well. It's a great application for region refrigeration cases. So there's a few applications that are appropriate for LEDs now. We have recessed downlights, track lighting, and exterior area lighting, which are really great applications for LED. And we have standard rebates for all of those types of lighting. Cold temperature applications, as I mentioned, LEDs do very well in cold temperatures. And so they're great in refrigerated cases. And the light is directional, so it'll go right on your product and not spill all over the rest of the case. And also good for exterior security lighting because they do well in cold temps, especially today. HVAC energy savings opportunities. Here's something from Energy Star. Energy use falls by 4 to 5% for every degree that you raise your cooling thermostat set point. So easing back on any of your central cooling by about 3 degrees can trim your cost by 12 to 15%. I know some retailers who I've spoken to recently about this. This is a big deal. You know, we have staff that, you have staff in your stores that are constantly turning up the heat or the air conditioning either way. So there are ways to control that and actually taking control of that and making it a goal for the year ahead could help you realize this 12 to 15% energy savings. And ensuring that your heating and cooling is included in the startup and shutdown schedule, you can save even more. So when your store hours, like when your store is about to open in the morning, make sure that your heating and cooling equipment is part of that startup. And shutdown, when you're closing at night, make sure that you're setting those temps back or down, you know, up or down as seasonally, so that you can save even more. And use a programmable thermostat. I have something on the next slide about that. Can you click to the next slide? Oh, there we go. Space heating for is a low-cost measure. Where is it? Oh, oops, sorry. Consider using a programmable thermostat. It allows scheduling automatic 7-day set point adjustments. This is days, nights, and weekends. And you can check for changes in seasons and occupancy. You are able to adjust that for whatever you need. But this, most people don't. Most people have a thermostat that they turn up or down, and you know the human condition doesn't allow for accuracy and leaving without remembering to do it. And make sure you check for changes in seasons and occupancy. Sorry, we have a question that just came in, and I think I'll take it, even though I said I would answer them at the end. But we had, is there an affordable retrofit for T8 lighting to LED in meat and produce multi-deck cases? We do provide incentives for a retrofit in these cases, if that's the question, if that was the question. To LED, we have that, excuse me, that particular upgrade is on our standard rebate form, lighting and refrigeration. It's on both of those forms. Okay, so now on to refrigeration and some low-hanging fruit. ECM, electronically commutated motors, evaporator fan motors, and controls. Outside air economizer system equals free cooling. Again, especially on a day like today, I hope all your outside air systems, those of you that have them, are operating. And regular maintenance of coils and doors and seals. As this arrow is pointing to, you should regularly maintain the coils, doors, door seals of your walk-in coolers and your reach-ins. This is really low-hanging fruit and something that can help you save money. Door heater controls, another sort of low-hanging fruit measure for refrigeration. Door heaters heat up the frame and the door to prevent fogging and moisture. And the controls limit the operation of these door heaters to days when the humidity is high. And in Vermont, there are 300 days that these heaters are not needed, about 300 days that they're not needed. So having those controls on to shut off the heaters for those 300 days is really going to be a quick payback. That's a low-hanging fruit measure for grocery. So that was just a quick overview of some low-hanging fruit technologies for retail and grocery. Feel free to contact us with additional questions about any lighting, refrigeration, HVAC. I want to just touch quickly on funding some of these projects, because even though you may develop an energy management plan through the 7-step process, write it down, set some clear goals, make that commitment, sometimes you could fall short on the funding. So there are a couple ways that we are looking at helping small businesses and grocers and retailers fund these projects. Vermont Economic Development Authority has a Vermont Business Energy Conservation Loan Program, and these are for projects that include energy efficiency and conserve energy. And we partner with them on that loan. So that's one option. You could go to your own commercial lender, which I know some of you have, and then to realize that one energy efficient project actually can fund your next one in terms of the monthly savings. Then another, Efficiency Vermont is actually working on some financing mechanisms, so if that's something you might be interested, feel free to contact me for smaller business customers. So we hope to be rolling something out in 2013 relative to financing with small businesses. So again, if that's something you're interested in, feel free to contact me directly. So some next steps are to work on creating an energy plan. What can you do now? What equipment is most likely to fail? And what might pay for itself pretty quickly through energy savings? You could create an energy team. Pick a few staff people to work with you. People, staff people that you know are interested or motivated, and help them, have them support you towards your goals and make them the green team leader for your business. Be sure to reach out to us, Efficiency Vermont, as a resource. And then start saving money so you can plan for your next project and boost that bottom line. And I just want to touch on 3 key points to remember. Energy costs are not fixed costs. You have control over this operating cost. The non-energy benefits, better lighting, increased comfort, and enhanced productivity, coupled with cost savings, can drive that decision. And one thing to really remember is that energy savings can often pay for itself. the measure that you choose to upgrade to can actually, the energy savings you realize from that upgrade might just actually pay for itself in energy savings. One more thing I wanted to mention, Vermont Businesses for Social Responsibility is running a Business Energy Action Challenge. It's an energy challenge for Vermont small businesses. The challenge is to reduce your business energy consumption by 5% annually for 3 years. Now this challenge is a great way to set some goals, which is what we mentioned in the 7-step process. So if you want more information on this, contact Efficiency Vermont or VBSR. It looks like the partners are Vermont Gas and Burlington Electric. But you can contact vtbizenergy.org to enroll. Again, if you want to know more about this, just contact Efficiency Vermont or VBSR directly or log on to the website. But I think this is a great way to kick off an energy management plan for your business. Give yourself a challenge. 5% annually for 3 years, that's a good goal. I want to do one more pitch. Efficiency Vermont has an efficient products program, and some retailers and grocers on this call may already be participating by selling CFLs and LEDs at discounted prices from your store. But Efficiency Vermont, we pay incentives for Energy Star CFLs and LEDs sold through retail locations. So basically, you would become an Efficiency Vermont partner in selling these CFLs and LEDs. The cost, the end prices for some of these products are 99-cent standard CFLs. I'm sure many of you have seen that, and then $3.99 for the specialty CFLs. So if you, and we also offer a variety of LED discounts. So if you want to be an Efficiency Vermont partner and stock your shelves with some of these products, contact us. This Love Your Light program is part of that efficient products program to sell CFLs and LEDs at discounted prices at your store. Thank you. If you have any questions, if you want to contact me, let me just go back. If you want to contact me, feel free to take down my information or just call us at the 800 number. Please visit the website, and we'll respond to any questions right now. There's a question about dimmers for LEDs and reach-ins. Where do you get, and is there an incentive? I'm not aware of any dimmers for reach-in cases. I can look into that, though. That would be a new concept for me. I mean, LEDs are dimmable, but I'm not sure in cases. Now, we do have occupancy sensors, if that's what you're referring to. We do have occupancy sensors for reach-in cases, and those occupancy sensor rebates for reach-in cases can be found on our standard rebate form. There's another question about EC motors for condensing unit fans. And yes, we do have, we will work with you on that upgrade. I'm pretty sure that is not covered on our standard rebate form. We would probably handle that on a custom basis for you. There's a question about how frequently may a business ask for an audit. We're not necessarily, Efficiency Vermont is not necessarily in the business of providing audits. If you have an energy-intensive business, and we have all utility usage data here in the office, if we see that you're really an energy-intensive business, we will take the time to come out and do a walkthrough of your business. But because there are so many businesses in Vermont, 30,000 plus small businesses, retail, grocery included in that, we can't go out and do that for everybody. So how frequently, I'm not really able to respond to that. It's, again, on a case-by-case basis. Okay, there's a question about, can you talk about how you can help gather data such as energy use before and after projects? We do occasionally go out and meter specific pieces of equipment, depending on the, again, case-by-case basis, so we can help gather data on a specific piece of equipment. But if you're talking about data, energy use data for your business, we would rely on you to track that. Even though we have the data in the in-house, but again, with the broad number of businesses in the state, we can't do it for everybody. So we request that you look at your energy use, maybe documented on a 12-month basis. Then the next part of the question is help keep track of the total KW savings with a list of the projects that a business has completed and how you can help promote businesses that are making changes both internal of the business and external. You know, we do keep project history here in in-house, and we do, if there's a business that has done a lot of upgrades and is saving money and has made the commitment, we highlight them. We can highlight them on our website. We can do some PR with them. We can help promote their business by you know, doing some co-branding with Efficiency Vermont, and we run an ad, you know, depending on, again, on a case-by-case basis. So there are a bunch of things that we can do. And another question is, was the webinar recorded, and if so, will you provide a link for it? We have recorded the webinar. This is our first time recording this webinar, so we're hoping it works. And if it did work, we will send a link out to attendees, and it will also be posted on the website, on our website, on the retail page and on the grocery page. So again, those addresses for the efficiencyvermont.com website would be www.efficiencyvermont.com/grocery or efficiencyvermont.com/retail. Both those pages are specific to retail and grocery. There's a comment about the business energy action that I mentioned with Vermont Businesses for Social Responsibility, and it says if you are a part of BEA, they help you with an energy audit, I believe. This I am not absolutely positive about. I can put that link up again. It's vermontbizenergy.org. I think you could find out more about that. And there's some contacts. And you could also call here at Efficiency Vermont. We are servicing that program as well, and we can answer those questions. There's a note about a benchmark program that I'm piloting with some grocers. When will that begin? And we're hoping to launch that this month. So again, we are actually launching a pilot program with some grocers to benchmark their stores. If that goes well and it works out and we learn from that pilot, we're going to roll it out to the larger community of retailers and grocers. We just want to work with a few people to make sure that so what we're going to do is we're actually going to benchmark stores through the Energy Star Portfolio Manager benchmarking tool. And you can find that on Energy Star's website if you want to find out more about that. But we hope to launch that by the end of the month or early February. I have one note here that says it's a confirm that the VBSR BEA program does not include energy audits. And I think there's one more comment that we'll read before we sign off, and it's there was a question about LEDs used in multi-deck cases. One of the webinar participants is working on getting Vermont-made LEDs for multi-deck cases manufactured out of Randolph, Vermont, locally. And I guess we'll be hearing more about that. They will have to be, LEDs do need to be qualified for our standard rebates, and they need to be Design Light Consortium certified. Design Light Consortium certified or Lighting Facts certified. All LEDs have to be meet the criteria for Design Light Consortium and Lighting Facts.
And then you said this one.
There's one more question, and then I think that might be the last one. Can you help with researching the most efficient refrigeration rack retrofit or replacement? Green Chill has had some webinars on, I've missed on ammonia systems making a return, but this is something that I want to figure out and see if it's feasible. We do have some experience with retrofitting rack systems, so whoever that is, please give us a ring. Feel free to call me directly. We'll put my contact information up again. But again, you can also find me on the website, but sthompson@veic.org. And that was the rack retrofit question. So I think that is it. We have 1 minute left. I want to thank everybody for attending today's webinar. We appreciate your participation, and please look out for future webinars from Efficiency Vermont in partnership with Vermont Grocers, Vermont Retailer, and Vermont Businesses for Social Responsibility. Thank you so much. Please visit efficiencyvermont.com for more information, and as always, please feel free to contact us for more information. Thank you very much. Have a good day.